Now imagine this, you attend a film screening of a documentary or are an activist who chalked slogans for your cause on the sidewalk. Or maybe you're involved in anti-war, environmental, or peace activism. You organize or go to some protests. And then you find yourself being spied on by the FBI, or facing terrorism charges for your chalk drawings, or having your house ransacked by the feds, all part of their counter-terrorism efforts. Well, that's exactly what some activists in the U.S. allege is going on. Earlier, I spoke to one of them, Lauren Montes. He is a longtime Chicano activist. He's also co-founder of the Brown Berets. The FBI raided his home, taking his computer and historical documents in May this month, and he's also a member of the Committee to Stop FBI Repression. Here's part of our conversation.
No, there's definitely a rise of this repression by the Homeland Security, using the FBI, using the federal grand jury, not only against peace activists that denounced the U.S. war in Afghanistan and Iraq, but also against the Palestinian, Arab, American, Muslim community here in the United States. They've been suffering this repression for many years. And now the federal grand jury is being used to extend it to activists who stand in solidarity with the people in the Middle East, people in Colombia who fight for freedom and peace.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that, you mentioned Department of Homeland Security, that of course was created in the wake of 9/11. There's been a lot of counterterrorism bureaucracy built up in the post 9/11 United States, apparatus. Why do you think they're being retargeted now? Do you think it's to justify this kind of money being spent?
It's to justify this kind of money being spent, but also to attack us as being outspoken against U.S. policy of intervention and the U.S. policy of condemning people's movements throughout the world. The protest movements are directly exposing and challenging the lies that the U.S. government puts out. In the 2006, we had millions of people marching in the street demanding legalization and end to the raids. In 2007, we were attacked by the LAPD. We were repressed. So even though we continue to protest May 1st of every year, we continue to protest on the anniversary of the invasion of Iraq. We may not have 1 million people marching in the street, but there's still hundreds of thousands that continue to challenge that policy.
Your activism spans a long time, and this is something that you've faced at different time periods in your life. But I'm curious if you see any difference where just very, very kind of obviously peaceful activists like environmental activists, animal rights activists, people that attend a documentary or that use sidewalk chalk on the street in order to write their slogans are now being targeted. If we're seeing a new low of what you call quashing dissent.
No, absolutely. This new widespread attack against peace activists, environmental activists, immigrant rights activists, it's a new wave of attack by the federal government using the grand juries and the FBI to squash dissent. It's a war against dissent. And whether it's someone speaking out at a speech by a government official, or someone demonstrating at a anti-war rally or an immigrant rights rally, the immigrant rights movement has been repressed, has been attacked physically. And, there's a rise in deportations of immigrants in this country. So this is definitely an increased attack against people who are challenging U.S. policy and speaking out and exercising our right of freedom of speech and the right to protest. The FBI is trying to stop our movement, but we're not letting them. We have national mobilizations. We formed a committee against FBI repression.
All right.
And we've had demonstrations. So they're trying to stop us, but we're not going to let them do it.
That was Lauren Montes, co-founder of the Brown Berets Chicano movement.